right to where that dot is, because you want that collar to flow out of there, like the blue Danube flows. The first time I was there, too, I expected the blue Danube. I looked at that muddy stream of water running down there full of mud. And I said to the guide, I said, well, I don't get it. I thought it was the blue Danube. He says, the blue Danube is blue only to the people who are in love. Well, that night...
The party was a birthday affair. Some of the army nurses and other enlisted soldiers will be there. Also some civilians and townspeople. The apartment was on the second floor. It was small. The large console radio record player was playing soft music. The couch and chairs were all occupied, so I stretched down on the floor in front of the radio console. Some people were dancing and visiting. The apartment door opened, and the party guests all sang loudly, "Surprise! Happy birthday!" I was startled, and I looked up to see who had walked in. A head full of blonde hair, twinkling blue eyes, and a smile to melt your heart. Rosy cheeks and alabaster skin, taut and smooth. Whoa. He walked into the nearby room. He removed his coat. He opened a drawer. I lifted myself from the floor and moved towards him. "How come you're opening drawers?" An annoyed look creased his forehead. "I live here, that's why." "Happy birthday." The party went on and on. That night, I fell in love. I spent the night.
Get the facing out of the way and notice that you are kissing this edge to that edge. Yes, anytime two things make a contact, that's a kiss, honey.
In the following weeks, I visited the apartment, but no one was ever there. I left little notes. One weekend, I went to town shopping. I had a sore throat, so to the town drugstore I went. I went to the counter, and there he was, blue eyes smiling and an amused look. "May I help you?" "Yes, do you have anything for a sore throat?" He reached down into the counter. He handed me a small pocket knife. He saw my expression, and his face bloomed into a full smile. I smiled back. They had soda fountains in drugstores then. I sat at the counter, and he came to wait on me. It was the fanciest hot fudge sundae I ever had. When I left, I wandered into a flower shop next door. I bought a single red rose. A young boy was there, and I asked him to take it to the drugstore. I said, "Give it to Mr. Price." I tipped him. Later, Jimmy told me that the young boy asked for Mr. Christ.
You know, you must learn to control your machine. You must never let your machine control you. The more you women learn to control your sewing machine, I shouldn't say this, the more you can control the man in your life. Because a man is like a machine. Keep him well oiled and he's happy.
World War II was raging in Europe and in the Pacific. Many parties later, I now had a permanent pass. I moved into the apartment. On my second furlough, I brought Jimmy home to Hollywood with me. It was wartime. The clubs were mad. People were gay and happy. It was always party time. It was a great 2 weeks. We returned and settled down.
Turn the fabric all the way around and lock stitch manually. Hunt, a 2, a 3, 4. Hunt, 2, 3, 4. That last one you didn't have to do, but I was taken back to my army days. Oh, those were terrible days, lovely days. We had a thing called the black market going. I'm telling you, where is that black market today? I think it moved to Vietnam or someplace.
We have the first prisoners of war from Africa and Italy. We have German prisoners and Italian prisoners. Each of you will take charge of 50 prisoners. You'll pick up your contingent of prisoners at the stockade each morning. You will march your group into a specific area off the road near the woods. The prisoners will clean up the surrounding areas. You'll keep the prisoners grouped and you'll maintain strict observation and discipline. At 12 noon, you'll take your prisoners and march them back to the compound. Count the prisoners, sign yourself out, and report back to the guardhouse before you go to chow. Any questions? Okay, follow the sergeant to your particular area. I arrived at my area, and there were the prisoners, already in formation, waiting for me to march into the woods. Attention! Forward, march! Right turn! We were marching down the highway to a nearby wooded area. The young prisoners marched with heads high and with a military cadence. They sang robustly and loud in time with their marching. The singing was so inspiring that I found myself marching with vigor, too. I made one mistake. I was leading the pack, and I was in front of the group with my rifle over my right shoulder, humming right along. A jeep drove by and stopped abruptly. "Halt!" the colonel screamed. "What the fuck do you think you're doing, Corporal? You're supposed to be behind the prisoners, watching them. And why are you limping?" He turned to the sergeant in the jeep and commanded him to take over. To me, he said to get my goddamn ass back to the guardhouse and wait for him. I did.
You know, years ago, I used to have the expression, I was young, I used to go to all these lovely parties, and I don't need drinks to intoxicate me. People intoxicate me. Really, they do. And I used to, feel so good, and I used to run around, and my favorite expression was, "Oh, I feel so mellow." And people kind of look at me, And then I met this smart Alec. And let me tell you, he said to me, "Mellow? Do you know what the word mellow means?" "Well, yeah." He said, "I don't think you do, or he wouldn't use the expression." He said, "Mellow, like a ripe wine, means rotten with age." I never use that expression again, let me tell you.
Now, according to your file here, you're from Hollywood, California. I see that you're a dress designer.
Yes, sir.
Now, tell me why you're here.
I don't know why I'm here. I reported to guard duty. The colonel told me he didn't want anyone with bad gams, as I have a slight limp when I walk.
Do you like the Army?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any problems being around other men?
No, sir.
Do you have a special friend back home?
No, but I have a friend in Cheyenne.
And is this friend a man or a woman?
A man.
His age about the same as yours?
Yes, sir.
You miss him?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay. Now let me read the rest of this report. You have a good conduct medal, you've earned the Sharpshooter Rifle Award, and you are now a Corporal 5th grade. You know, Corporal Trippon, you're in the psychiatric ward.
Yes, sir.
You think you'd be okay here in this larger ward with all these men and casualties, or would you prefer a locked ward?
I'll be okay here, sir. I've been here for 2 days now, and everything is fine.
Good and well, Corporal. We'll let you rest now. We'll take further action after we review your case.
Thank you, sir.
Ladies, today we are going to top off our Suture Soft group with the finishing touch, our hat. In just 1 week, we have created an entire wardrobe. This hat is a lot of fun, so stick with me.
Corporal, as a dress designer, do you know anything about ladies' hats?
Well, yes, sir, I do.
Last year, I bought my wife this brown felt hat with a wide brim. It cost $75, and this year she tells me that it is out of style. Do you suppose the hat can be remodeled or redesigned?
Oh, yes, sir, it can. The hats today are shaped and ribboned or flowered. They also have bows and buttons.
If I brought the hat in, could you check it out, see what can be done?
I'd be happy to check it out, sir.